and welcome to Quill Pen's Quips Knitting and More podcast. I am Betsy, also known as Quill Pen on Instagram and Ravelry, and this is episode 21, I think. It has been a really long time since I have podcasted, and I apologize for that. The last time I was supposed to podcast was a weekend. I was going out of town. I had everything ready to take. I was going to podcast while out of town. And the day that I left happened to be the day that my service dog died. She had been sick for about a month. It hit suddenly. Was sort of a quick process of going downhill, and the doctors and we agreed finally that she was not going to get better. They didn't know exactly what was wrong, but it was clear that she was not going to improve, and that it was time to let her go. And so we made that very hard decision, sort of quickly, that it wasn't fair to continue to ask her to suffer. So that just hit me really hard, as I'm sure you can understand. If you have had a pet, if you have had a service dog, it was just a very hard, sad weekend, and I just didn't feel up to podcasting, so I didn't, and I put it off. And then I got back home and got everything ready, and it hit me that Luna had always been there while I podcasted, and she might have walked in and out of the room or laid while I was doing it, but she was always around, and to do it without her was just suddenly overwhelming and too hard, so I put it off. So it's been about a month now, and I think I needed the break, but I am ready to jump back in. I have missed podcasting. I have missed this interaction, this community, and I decided to try filming in a different place in my house so that it felt different. Ironically, I just realized that there's a picture of Luna behind me. Anyways, so I'm trying a different place so that it feels different, sort of starting again. So this episode, I think, will be a little bit shorter. I'm not going to do a full everything, all the different sections. I think I'm going to focus on just the fiber part to kind of get back in, get the ball rolling. We'll see what happens. I don't want to have to worry about a lot of editing today. I just kind of want to film and chat with you and post it and be done. And then as time goes on, I'll get back to my more formal, official podcasting segments, I think. Also, obviously, I have decided to try for a while to just sign my podcasts. Instead of voicing the whole time and then having a designated teaching signs part, I think I'm just gonna sign the whole time. And if you're interested in learning signs, you can pay attention and maybe pick things. And if you have questions, you can ask me on the Ravelry posts or on the YouTube comments, any of that. And that way, if you're not interested in learning sign, but you're just kind of fascinated by sign, you can still enjoy the podcast for what it is. It also just feels more like a better representation of me to be signing while I'm podcasting instead of two different parts. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to see how it goes for a few episodes and then go from there. So anyways, all of that to say, welcome back to any returning viewers. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting for a new episode. And if you are brand new, thank you for joining and for trying. And I would love to get to know you. If you post about yourself on Ravelry, then I will respond. And if you join my group, I will give you a shout out on the next episode. So, let's get started. I am sure that there was a lot that I missed to show you. It's been a long time and I have done a lot of knitting. So as far as what's off my needles, I finished the scarfy thing, but I think I showed it to you. I feel like I remember holding it up and I remember taking a finished picture that I think was for my last episode. I don't know. Anyways, I finished the scarfy thing and I love it. I wore it the whole conference. We went to a sign language conference, and so the rooms are always cold. If you go to those kinds of conferences, they keep the rooms cold because there's a lot of people. So I had that and it was nice. I loved it. So I finished that, but I didn't bring it down here to show you today. I also finished two pairs of socks. One was the Denver Broncos socks for my husband, the big socks that I think I showed you. I think I had just started maybe, or I had shown you the yarn. Anyways, I just did plain vanilla socks. Did a lot of measuring of his foot to decide, number of stitches and how long. And I think he likes them. He has been wearing them since I made them. So I like them. So that was good. And I have a lot of yarn left over. I had overbought because I didn't know how much I would need. So I can make more or make socks for the boys maybe to match. I don't know. So I finished those. I also finished socks for me. Again, plain vanilla. It was easiest to knit plain vanilla during the conference, during the workshops, so I could look and watch the signing presenter, but still be knitting. So I just did plain. No, not even any purling. So, and that was made out of the I think it was Ariel colorway from Biscotte yarns, and I like that. I think that was it. I finished the socks, and then we had our next thing drawn for the group. So mine was to finish a Stephen West that used at least 2 skeins of yarn. So I made the Swish Swoosh shawl by Stephen West. It's new-ish, I think. There wasn't a lot of people that had already made it on Ravelry. Through the middle. So I love it, love it, love it. Which is funny because pink is not normally my color, but I love this. And I love how it's off. I don't always love like crescent shawls, but I like this one. But I think it's because it's a little, it's still a true crescent, but it's off in the middle. The swishing, swoosh, swish. So the gray is Woolen Vine. Color is Poe. Base is the Volca. So that's her MCN. The black is also Woolen Vine. That is Grim colorway. The base is Footsie, which is just merino nylon. The Volca is so soft and I love it. So I'm glad that I chose that for the main, like, repeated color. The pinks are from that kit I had shown you way back. The dark, I think, the dark is Backyard Fiber Works, and the lighter is Duck Duck Wool. Both are called the Telltale Heart. And then this, I didn't use it a lot, but you can see on the back of this, the white, it's like white with black and gray speckles. That is Typewriter from Hedgehog. It's a Hedgehog single. It's that one. So there it is, finished. And I have pictures of that on Ravelry if you are interested in seeing finished object pictures. So that is finished off my needles. On my needles right now is, let me tell you about the bag first. I participated in a swap with some friends from my local knitting group, and the theme was travel. And so my person did a France and Paris theme. So I love it. So she made me 3 project bags. Here's one. This is the small one. I've been using this to hold my spinning, which I will show you in a minute. Then there's a big one with a zipper for like sweater size. And then this one has this cute bag or handle and the drawstring. And then it has pockets inside. And these. So you can feed your yarn through that. Show you an example. So here's my yarn coming to my project. And my skein is in here. Put it through like this. And then snap. So now it's kind of like a yarn bowl. So the strings aren't getting tangled. But what I'm really loving it for right now is this shawl is the Caprice. This is from Aroha Knits. I joined her Fiber Muse Kits box subscription, whatever you want to call it. So the first one sent back in May, I think. And this was one of 2, the box included 2 patterns, 2 skeins of yarn to make one of the patterns, tea, a lotion bar, and stitch markers. So I picked this pattern and I got this green teal yarn. Other people got purple. It depended on what you sent as your, like, we had to answer a lot of questions when we signed up and told favorite colors and stuff. And so I think that decided who got which colorway. But either yarn would work for either pattern. So it was up to you. Both patterns you got for free. So this is the one I picked. The other one is similar, but a crescent. And I liked this asymmetrical triangle. So this is Frab Joux fibers in the Queen of Hearts base, which is an MCN, so it's very soft. This is what confuses me. Maybe I just don't know enough. This is Wonderland yarn, but when I put it on Ravelry, it comes up as Frab Joux fibers. I don't know why. I don't know the difference. It must mean something to someone, but so I don't understand. So if I'm offending the person that dyed the yarn, I am very, very sorry. So here we go. Wonderland Yarns, Queen of Hearts. And this is the aquamarine. So, but my two skeins, I don't know if you can you even see? Do you see how different they are? This one's very light. This one's more dark. So it's very obvious that they're different when they're right next to each other and you're knitting with them. So I am alternating every other row. So it's been very nice to use this bag and have one come through one and one come through the other, and then I can just shift, turn the bag this way and knit, and then turn the bag, to carry the yarn and switch. So it's working very well. I feel like the colors have mixed nicely. Here we go. So it's going to be this really pretty asymmetrical, and you just keep going until you want to stop. The pattern is from here to here. So this chunk. And you just repeat that, and you're increasing, adding stitches, every other row. So I'm just gonna go until I feel like stopping, until I feel like it's big enough and comfortable enough. But I love the color. I'm so happy that I got this color instead of the purple. I mean, the purple's pretty, but I like this better, which is probably what I put on my information. It's very easy. It's different, like each little section is different enough that it keeps you interested, but it's like I've already got it memorized and you can just go. So that's nice. You don't have to think too much. You just have to think about alternating your skeins. You just remember to alternate the skeins and not get them too messed up. So that is on. I am also working on a design project, so I don't want to show you too much, but I joined the fad. I'm sorry. I just did. I wasn't going to. I was avoiding it, and then it happened, and now I love it. So this fad of planned pooling of color in yarn. So my local yarn shop got in some sea turtle yarns, sea turtle fibers. I think it's fibers. Oh, Sea Turtle Fiber Arts. Okay, this is 80s glam in the Ridley, I can't spell, I'm sorry, Ridley stock. I will put all this information, which is merino nylon. And so it cakes up to look like this. The color is not good. The colors are much brighter. Very 80s glam. So here's you can see the color, and then there's a huge long section of gray. This is all gray coming from my project. And then there's this short little section of color. So if you do the math correctly, move this. It's a new place. I don't know where to put things. If you do the math correctly, you can plan it so that all the color gets knitted at the same place every row. So you can decide where you want your pooling and your color concentration. So that can cause designs to show up in different ways depending on your math. So there are internet websites to help you figure this out. I am not a genius at math. I think I probably said that once or twice before. But there's ways to help, and you can kind of see, if I do this number of stitches, what will it supposed to be look like? Do you want stripes? Do you want thick stripes or thin stripes? Do you want diagonals? Do you want plaid? Do you want one color in the middle? Whatever. Do you want on the side? Whatever. And then sort of how many stitches you need to do, and then you can figure out where you need to start your yarn and all that. So I am trying out a design idea. So I got this and I fell in love with it, and I love how it's pooling. And so then I had to buy a second skein of yarn to see if it would do it again, like if the math will still work. If in the pattern I include how to figure out your math, will it still work for you on a different skein as it did for me with mine? So I need to see that. So I'm testing across a few different colorways of this yarn and some other yarns that seem like it will work to do planned pooling. If you never see this show up on Ravelry or ever mentioned again, it means it didn't work. Otherwise, I'm sure I will be talking about it. So I joined that bandwagon. So should we talk about spinning for a minute? Tour de Fleece started July 1st. I have been wanting, did I talk about this? I don't know. I have been wanting to spin, to learn how to spin with a drop spindle. So I am signing spin, even though it looks like I'm talking about a kid's toy top, because it's that same motion. So I am using that for this podcast and this podcast only. It probably won't work out in the world. And I am not using a spinning wheel with the treadle, with the feet, and I'm not doing that. I wanted something that would be portable, that I could still take places. And I am liking the drop spindle. So back in May, right around Memorial Day, I had a friend teach me how to spin and to use the park and draft method. And that just opened up this whole world for me. I was struggling, like I had watched videos. I had taken a class way back on drop spindle spinning and I just couldn't get it. It just wasn't working for me. I thought I was just, a lousy spinner. But she taught me park and draft, and it just was like magic happening in my fiber, and I was so excited. So July 1st started Tour de Fleece. Now my goal for tour was to just spin something every day. I decided not to do a time limit because with kind of spinning in the middle of kids and family stuff, I can't keep track of time. Sometimes I just get a tiny little bit done, and then sometimes I can go and go and go. So I didn't want to do time limits. So I just said spin something every day was my goal. And I had 3 different fibers to use. I had my Jamaica colored fiber. So I had black, yellow, and green separate that I was spinning together. Then I had my Luna fiber that I'm calling my memorial, Luna Memorial yarn, that is black and gray and white because she is black and gray. And then I have some new pretty purple blue fiber. If I finish these 2, I will do that for the end of the tour. But my real goal was to finish these 2 ply. See, I'm learning the lingo. Ply them together and then finish them. Whatever that means. Something about slapping it or something. I'm supposed to learn the weekend at our finishing party. Anyways, so this is my Jamaica yarn. I think it's probably bulky weight. This is 160 grams. I did not measure yardage because I forgot. I got so excited about getting it on the Swift and doing it all that I forgot to measure yardage. But I weighed it, and it weighs 160 grams. So I am so proud of it. It's obviously not great. It's not perfect, but it's amazing. I can't believe that I made this. So I love it. It's like my little yarn bee. So I am soon finished my Luna yarn. So first I spun singles. Just the plain first spinning. So you need at least 2 of those, and then you spin again the opposite direction to ply. And then when it's done plying, there's different ways you can, but I wrap it around my Swift. If you're paying attention to spelling, just ignore my spelling. I wrap it around my Swift, which is right over there. And then do the figure 8 ties, and then wrap it up into this. So this is what the singles look like. This is my last single. So there's the black and the gray and the white. And I put them together in different order. Underneath there, it's all different. So when it plies together, it looks different. It's not striped. I'm not good enough to be sure that I'm doing, the same amount so that it stripes correctly. It's just a big mess of colors, and it's fun, and I love it. And so each little part is different and is constantly changing. So this is the single. I have plied the first half, and hopefully today I will ply part of the second half. And then I will get that all together so that it's ready to be finished at our party this weekend. So that's the single. I can't show you the plied part because it's already on the Swift waiting for the second half. Okay, so that is off. I should have brought something that will be on. I didn't bring something that will be. I have not been planning. My thing finished, this, and I just kind of looked around and thought, what do I want to make next? And picked up the Caprice shawl, and I just wound it and started knitting. So I'm not like on a schedule. I'm kind of waiting until something is done and then seeing what I feel like next. So I'm going with that. So we'll wait and see. But I have a little bit of stash enhancement. A little, I'm sure I have more, but I didn't bring it all down to show you. So I'm sure you'll see it when I knit with it. But I joined, my mom and I went in together on a yarn mini skein club for the summer because it was all related to murder mysteries, and we both love murder mysteries. And this was interesting because it's a 3-month thing, so you get 5 mini skeins, so 20 grams each of 5 colors each month. And the first month was all related to Agatha Christie, which we both enjoy. The second month was all related to the TV show Death in Paradise, which is my favorite. And then the third month is all related to, and I should have checked before I podcasted, the Seaside Mysteries. Does that sound right? I will check and put it. I think it's the Seaside Mysteries. It's a book, a cozy book series that is my mom's favorite. I have actually never read any of them, but my mom has read them all, I think, and loves them. So she was very excited about that. I was really excited about Death in Paradise, and we both like the Agatha Christie. So it just seemed like a good fit for us to go together and then divide up the mini skeins. So the first month is this, Agatha Christie. So it comes like this. These are your 5 skeins. These are by Mint Rain hand-dyed yarns. So there's colors. So this one is, here's the list. So this one is a Caribbean mystery. This one is Murder on the Orient Express. This one is The Moving Finger. This one is the Sittaford Mystery. And this one is Murder at the Vicarage. So we're going to divide this up. Then just yesterday, which yesterday was a rough day in our house. So I was happy to get some happy mail. Death in Paradise. I feel like this side gives you the best look. Okay, so if you know the show, here's the list. Okay, so this one is Camille. This one is Humphrey. Let's see. This one is Dwayne. This one's Dwayne. This one is Catherine. And this one is Fidel, which is just perfect to be Fidel. So I was still waiting for the next one, and I will show it to you when it comes. But I love these, and I'm so excited. So we're going to wait until they all arrive and then divide them up. Neither one of us has ever really worked with mini skeins. Like, we're not making those cozy memories blankets that a lot of people are using mini skeins for. We're not making anything like that, but we'll find something. You don't need to have a plan. So we're going to wait to see what they all look like, and then we can pick our favorites and make sure we're both happy. So mint, rain, and dyed yarns. Let's see. I think that's it for my fiber section. My swap was not only project bags. I don't want to give you that impression. She did so much, but it's all scattered around my house because she gave me stitch markers, lots of different kinds, but they are all, here's one of them actually. So this one says, oh, am I going to be able to show it to you? Anyways, it says Amore. Yeah, I just can't see it. Amore. And it's the clip. So I can use it for crochet or knitting or an earring or whatever. So there was a lot of those. There was chocolate. There was a mug. There was a journal that has the Eiffel Tower on it. There was just a lot of great, there was yarn. There's a lot of great stuff, but it's all scattered around my house and I didn't feel like gathering it all. So I showed you what I'm using right now. So that was fun to be a part of a swap. I really, really enjoyed planning for my person and putting it all together and seeing everyone's gifts. It was fun. It was fun to be a part of. So I hope we'll do it again. Maybe. Okay. So I think I'm going to stop there for today. I'm enjoying summer. I'm glad it is summer. The baby is 6 months old. That's crazy. 6 months old. He's almost sitting up. My kids tend to be late in their gross motor skills. So he sits. He still needs help. But he's eating real food now. Loves sweet potatoes. Okay with squash. I don't blame him. So that's that. I think that's it. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and stop here. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for joining me again. I will continue to podcast now as often as possible during the summer, and then probably will be even better when we're back to a schedule when my husband goes back to work. Right now we're just having fun days and we wake up in the morning and say, what do you want to do today? And we just go do fun stuff. So makes it a little harder to plan exactly when to podcast. So to schedule a podcast. I'm sorry, this is partly why people don't sign and talk at the same time, because true ASL does not fit English grammar. And so my hands tend to do one thing in ASL grammar and my mouth is trying to do another thing in English grammar, and they're not always meshing. But I want to be aware of just appropriate equal access, and that the captions on YouTube are not great. I know in my experience when I'm trying to watch videos and I'm struggling with the captions, and that's not fair, that's not appropriate. And so until YouTube fixes that, I want to have equal access to all of my friends. So I will try. And equal access means both hearing and deaf friends. So it's important that I talk and sign. So we'll try it and we'll see how it goes. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Happy knitting.